welcome, planet Earthlings. I'm here with Mr. Jordan Tayer. How you doing, homie?
Greetings. I'm doing good.
Doing good. First of all, really pumped up about this. Pumped up about this dude. Pumped out about my friend Sean, who introduced me to him.
Sweet, sweet Sean O'Connell.
Sean O'Connell, what a good human.
If you're watching, hello.
So guys, I'm pumped about this. You know, Jordan has a badass story. I mean, he's done a lot of cool things. There's a lot of lessons you can learn from him, and I think a lot of people are going to be able to connect with his message. And really, I don't think I've met someone as chill as you that has done some super cool things with you that could just talk to everybody. You know, from being in the military, serving the country, living, like doing it big from there, then going on and building your own business inside the gaming community. Right. That launched you into being listed in Forbes 30 under 30 in the games list. Super badass. Super, like, hell yeah.
Forrest Gumping my way from rock to rock, basically.
Yeah, phenomenal. Phenomenal. And now working at Twitch, working with influencers all over. And also, Jordan, like, one thing that's super, super cool to me is everyone's heard of Comic-Con, right? So if you guys are coming in live, drop some flames, or if you're watching the replay, if you've ever heard of Comic-Con. And if you've ever been there,
everyone knows.
Everyone knows what Comic-Con is. Jordan, you hosted it, not only just, no, you planned it.
Yeah.
And you hosted it.
Yeah, I produced, scheduled, and hosted the Twitch live stage for Chicago Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con.
Sick.
And you know, I'd schedule in celebrities, you know, Lord of the Rings actors, video game actors, voiceover artists, excuse me. You know, Game of Thrones actors, comic book artists. Walking Dead folks, you name it. And,
did you know you were going to even see yourself in that position, like when you look at yourself now?
Hell no.
It just one thing,
dude, no.
One thing turned to another.
First of all, I'm no stranger to streaming. I typically don't stream on Facebook Live. I typically stream on Twitch. Please do not tell Mr. Jeff Bezos. I don't know if he would slap me on the wrist for jumping on a different streaming service. So let's get that part out of the way. But no, I never thought I would do anything in the public eye. If anything, I thought I would end up in a ditch somewhere, to be honest. I had a rough childhood. I was kind of a bad kid and a bad student, so I guess I was a late bloomer.
Yeah, and you said, and that kind of transitions you to your military career, right? Because you were telling me on like a personal conversation, a little off camera, like you were going down a wrong path.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not even. It's not even personal. I am a pretty transparent guy. I don't really give a shit about secrets or hiding things, but yeah, I was a bad kid, especially in high school, and I was, you know, smoking a lot of weed and doing drugs and partying, and went to Portland, Oregon after I graduated high school and kept fucking up. But I also had an eBay business that was making me money, and that was allowing me to fuck up worse. And then I finally had to
scaling your effort.
I was scaling the fuck ups. So I had to make a change. So I joined the Air Force when I was right after I turned 18.
And that led to, how long did you go there?
I was a nuclear and conventional weapons specialist in Asia and Europe for 6 years.
Damn.
And then I deployed to Afghanistan and Iraq for about a year and 3 months.
And you said when you nuclear, I remember you said like in school, like this is like a major key for anyone that's jumping on here. In school, you couldn't focus, you didn't give a shit, like you didn't care much. But then when you got into
some things,
I
was killer at. So I was in like remedial math and like remedial science because I didn't really care about that kind of stuff. But I aced AP History and English and poetry writing and shit like that. I was super killer at creative stuff and things in the past that interested me. If there was more classes that would allow me to be creative in high school, that could have allowed me to be, that worked as like core classes, core credits, then I would have done those. But that's not how
there just wasn't
the educational system works, and you're a student prisoner that's forced to go to this thing by law.
By law.
And if you fit in the system, you fit in the system. If you don't, you struggle through it, and you get out, and hopefully you get lucky. And that was me, for sure.
Yeah, damn. But no, then you ended up in like, because you got challenged. That's the biggest thing. You got challenged by. Remember, like you were telling me, you're in the military. You were basically like, look, you have to do this nuclear thing, or otherwise you're gonna do something else. And you're like, okay, I'll do it. And before you know it, you're like, damn, I'm pretty freaking good at this. And then it just moved in from there.
Yeah. So I was actually gonna do airborne air traffic control, air battle management in the giant, or in the planes that have the disc that kind of revolves on top. That's an aircraft that has a bunch of intel folks on it, but it allows people to do air traffic control in the sky for fighter jets. And I wanted to do that, but I got in trouble as a teenager before I joined the military. As I said, I was a little shit. And so they took that away from me, but then allowed me to load nuclear weapons for America instead. Never understood that one. That was very odd, but I ended up doing that instead. Was really bad at being an airman. Was really bad at, you know, saluting higher ups and you know, taking the Air Force dick. But let's be honest, you know, if you're in the military, you're an indentured servant. And I didn't like that life. I was sort of a rebel, outgoing, can't shut my mouth kind of guy, and which is not conducive to a military lifestyle. And I know that I was a failure at the military, but I was really good at loading missiles. I was really good at the nuke shit. And I was good at the work aspect, but I was bad at being an airman.
Damn.
I was really bad at being an airman. I can freely admit that. I just was, that lifestyle wasn't for me. So I did it for 6 years, got out, and I wanted to use my GI Bill to go to school for free. But then once again, I found something that wasn't conducive to me, and that was being a student. I felt like Billy Madison in middle school, you know?
Great example, phenomenal example.
I was 25, and I had just gotten, you know, I left my own house in Germany after being a weapons specialist, and here I was in a class with a bunch of kids in San Francisco to go to film school. I just didn't fit in. I didn't feel like it was me.
Yeah, I think everyone has been in a position where they just weren't in something that they fit in. And then you took all that from the military, and then you created something epic. You got into gaming, first of all. You were always into gaming.
Always a gamer.
You did it while you were in the military, so...
Yeah. Growing up, my parents were, my mom was a Marine and my dad was in the Navy, so I moved nonstop, and my best friends were video games, because I could always just pack my Super Nintendo or N64 and go to the next base, in the next country, the next state, and then I would make friends with other kids that had, like, a Sega. I don't have a fucking Sega, let's make friends with that kid. Like, tell I was that little shit, I was awful. And like, oh, you have a Sega and I have a Super Nintendo, we're now best friends.
Yeah,
gonna, you know, instantly. That's how kids are, and it's totally cool.
Yeah.
So,
Game Boy was the OG.
Yeah, Game Boy was
the OG.
Or, you know, PlayStation 2 and that came out, that changed everything. So yeah, I was always like a gamer nerd, and I would go to like Halo LAN parties and shit.
First of all, Halo is a phenomenal game.
Great, Halo 1 with console system link was a game changer. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But
the remastered Halo was sick. They remastered the Halo 1. I was a big Halo 3 fan.
Yep.
Team Double, shout out Joe Black and Matt Dodge. Shout out.
But yeah, so I was always into gaming. When I got out, when I was in Germany in the Air Force, I watched Justin.tv, which was the live streaming platform that later became Twitch, or Twitch became an offshoot of it. So I would watch, like, you know, pirated Simpsons episodes, and so I didn't want to watch Deutsche Telekom or German TV. So I was watching, like, you know, our old Simpsons episodes and shit like that on Justin. Yeah. And then Twitch was birthed out of it because a lot of people were streaming video games on Justin, not just their lives or whatever. And it was the biggest thing by far. And our early
there was nothing like it.
There was nothing like it, no. And there was a lot of, like, Korean professional StarCraft on at like 3 in the morning, and it would have hundreds of people watching, and they're like, "What the fuck? This is the most popular thing on our site."
Yeah.
So they took Twitch and gaming, and they made a category within Justin. But then the category was so big they had to make their own website, Twitch.tv. And then Amazon came along, and they said, "You gotta cut the Justin out if you want to be acquired by us." But I started streaming on Twitch when I was in film school, and when I started making money and building my personal brand, because that was like my own startup.
For sure.
Except me live on the internet. I decided to drop out of school, which was, you know, a lot of my roommates and, you know, family members that I told, and friends that I decided to tell all thought I was a fucking moron.
Of course.
Of course, which, and it is idiotic.
I mean, it's just new. It's new.
Well, it's new.
If you're doing something that isn't typical, going to school, going to college, becoming a lawyer, becoming like that, people are like, what are you doing?
Here's the nail in the coffin. Was that I had spent, if this was just a typical, like, I'm going to school and dropping out, that's whatever. But I had spent 6 years of my life getting my GI Bill in something I hated to get to the point to go to college just to drop out.
Yeah.
So that was like an extra stake in the heart.
Yeah, so
they're like, you just did all this shit and you're not going to leave it? And I was like, yeah, because I don't like it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to become a professional gamer.
Well, I didn't expect that. I didn't think I was going to be a professional gamer. I thought I was going to be a live entertainer using games as my stage.
Do you think that they took it as if you were going to be some professional gamer, though? Like, do you think they bought into that pitch?
Probably. I don't think half my friends or family knew what the fuck I was talking about.
Gotcha.
They didn't. They were like, YouTube?
I feel the same exact way with like direct sales when I first got started.
Yeah,
people just didn't. They don't know what they don't know.
They don't know. Yeah. So I took a chance, and within a couple months, I was making money, and I was able to build something out of it. I created an esport event, which I was able to later.
This is sick.
Yeah.
So this is really cool. The esport event is dope.
Yeah. So there was this game. I don't know if there's any true nerds out there. You'll know about this. A series of military simulators that are very realistic, big open world map. It's called Arma and Arma 2 and Arma 3. And there was this New Zealander guy, Dean Hall, who was in the military, and he was dying of injuries in a training exercise in the jungle in Asia somewhere. And he came up with this bright idea that he wanted to live, get the hell out of the military, and make a game about survival and trying to survive in a harsh environment. And he needed some sort of adversary in the game besides just the environment. So he said, well, zombies. Zombies are hot right now. So he created a mod of this military simulator called DayZ. And it basically was...
Shout out DayZ.
Shout out to DayZ. It was basically a giant open world map with cities and forests and farms and airports and military bases. And you're just a guy. You start on the beach with a flashlight and a bandage. And you have to find guns and ammo and military supplies and medical supplies, food, you name it. And there's also other people just like you on this giant map. And you can run into these people, and you can kill them or be friends with them or betray them or build a car together and go farther north in the map or you name it. It's the zombie apocalypse simulator.
It's like the GTA of zombie apocalypse.
Yes, it's super fun. It was amazing. And I wanted to take it deeper because the broadcasters back then that played DayZ, it was a massively popular game. Tens of thousands of people would watch people play it. And I was one of the top broadcasters. And I wanted to end this mentality of what individual content creators have this mentality, which was, these are my viewers, this is my channel, I do not want to cross-pollinate, stay off my lawn, don't take my viewers. I don't even want to mention that anyone else exists on this platform in the fear that I'll lose the people that watch me and give me money. So I was like, well, that's not how this works. How it's going to spread is if you spread around and you cross-pollinate and you get broadcasters playing together.
That makes sense.
But I needed to create a way that would get people, because I wanted the viewers.
So you identified the problem.
Yeah,
you knew the problem. It was very clear, and you were like, I have to come up with a solution.
Right. The problem was, how can I get more viewers? Or I'm not getting enough viewers, how can I get more viewers?
Gotcha.
And I identified that you need the content creators to hang out with each other so that the viewers go, oh, maybe that guy's not so fucking bad. I'll click on his channel when so-and-so's not online.
Major key, solid.
Yeah, okay. So then I decided to modify the mod of the military simulator. And my friend Brian and I and Lou created this little spectator sport called the Survivor Games. And we basically hacked in to the game an invincible player that could fly. And it was a camera, basically. And we would live stream that invisible character to the camera. And we would bring in 15 teams of 2 and have 30 broadcasters all streaming their perspective in game. And we'd fly over them and have a Hunger Games style last man standing death match.
Sick.
Yeah, and this was years before
Hell yeah.
yeah, this was years
That's
before
sick.
like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and all that, which is like one of the fastest selling games. He actually watched the Survivor Games, and that's how he was inspired to create the Battle Royale mod, which later became H1Z1 King of the Kill, which later became now the hugely popular game PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
That's what it came in.
So fuck me for not creating my own mod and creating my own game. Holy shit.
So that game turned into PUBG.
Well, the idea of the spectator sport I created later created a mod in the same. So Arma is a very easily moddable game.
Yeah.
So we modded the Survivor Games, and then this guy Brendan Green, who created PUBG, he watched it and said, well shit, I could just make a mod in the same game they modified of this. I can just make a game, not streamers coming in and, you know, they set it all up and then they play. I could just make a mod where people come in and anyone could do this.
Damn.
And that's what he did. And I wish I would have done that, because now it's sold 6 million copies and he gets a percentage of that, and he's the creative director. So, you know, obviously he's killing it.
So it spun out of your initial...
Oh, yeah. I was able to sell the idea to actually the company that we had modified the game of. We sold them the idea to create DLC of DayZ, which hasn't happened yet. But so you know, I was able to like capitalize and make some money off the idea. But that creating that esport, I'm sure that was like really difficult to understand if you're not a nerd. Sorry, that's as easy as I can.
Yeah. I mean,
explain it.
Yeah, you're explaining the
basically
biz.
hundreds of thousands of people were watching it live, and we were damn near breaking the site. Twitch. So Twitch actually came to me and said, if you can do this, why don't you be our community manager? And this was about 5-6 months before Amazon acquired them. So I became the community manager, and then I realized that I didn't really give a shit about the bitching community. And then I just wanted, I didn't care about the public bitching. I didn't. So I decided, what can I do to make my job fun? And that was serving the community by creating live content on the platform. Duh, right? Why wouldn't you?
Hell yeah, for sure.
So that's what we started doing, and then that's where I got to the point where I was producing and scheduling and hosting, you know, E3 and Comic-Con and PAX. And
so when you got into the whole hosting game, like, did you just naturally had a love for all this stuff because you're like an uber nerd that can talk his mind.
Yeah, kind of. So this is how it worked. I didn't know that I was ever going to host anything. So I took the job at Twitch, became the community manager, and my third weekend on the job is Summit E3. I show up to E3, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing there, and there's like 400,000 people watching our streams. It's like day one of E3, and we're the new video game magazine, right? Like, you just watch Twitch. You don't wait for the E3 issue of EGM to come out anymore. You just go watch Twitch and watch
you crushed.
Yeah, so we get there, and I show up to the booth and like, hey, in 15 minutes, I had just walked up. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. So you have to interview one of the lead developers of Assassin's Creed Unity, which was the first Assassin's Creed game where people could team up in a squad. And I was like, okay, sure. I didn't even know how to interview. I'd never even thought about interviewing anyone before. So I get up there, and it's this French guy. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I totally fucking butcher the introduction. There's, I don't know how many tens upon tens of thousands of people are watching me crash and burn. But I recover, and we just end up having a conversation. And when my cheeks are no longer hot, there's no more needles in the back of my neck, I finally get into my groove, and then the interview's over. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's just try to cut all that nerve shit out of the way the first 14 minutes, so that I'm not comfortable for the last 1 minute. So then I start getting better at it. I think the second or third one I found my stride, and then it got to the point where I just don't, especially so I'll still get nervous sometimes in a big like panel setting. But if it's just like a little black camera, like a black box, or like a phone looking at me, I'll fucking talk to a machine all day.
But
I don't care how many people are watching.
Do you feel like for me personally, when I do any live video, like not as much as like interviews in general, but like anytime I'm public speaking, I always get this gut feeling like I'm not gonna be able to talk, like I'm gonna get up there, I'm not gonna be able to speak. Even when I started doing Facebook Lives, I started freaking out. Like I always have this like minute period where my heart rate jumps up. And I'm like, oh shit, like it's not gonna be good. But then as soon as you start getting going, you realize something's wrong. Your whole thing goes down, and by the second minute, you're just like on your flow. And then you just wanna make the people happy. You wanna give them something to watch. And it seems like you kind of learned that super quick.
Well, I learned how to get rid of that feeling. You're always gonna get that feeling no matter who you are. If you're a stand-up comic, or you're Louis C.K. and you go walk out to do your Netflix special, the 8th one, let's say, you're still gonna get butterflies every fucking time. You're a human being with ego that's got a fuckload of other human beings with ego looking at you and waiting for you to fuck up, or waiting for you to make them laugh, or waiting for you to say something cool. And they're going to jump on whatever it is you dish out. If you screw up, they're going to...
the world thrives on failure.
Yeah, of course. They're going to feel bad for you, and you're going to see that they're feeling bad for you because you're sucking, and it blows. So what I do is, let's say Sean Astin, for instance, who is Samwise in Lord of the Rings. I did supposed to do a 10-minute interview.
With Samwise
trying to do a 40-minute interview because he had so much fun. He canceled his next interview. So this is how I did it.
Wait, you interviewed Samwise?
Yeah, he was awesome. Yeah, and
damn,
actually meeting
dude.
him,
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was great.
Lord of the Rings is like my life. Every Christmas we watch like all the Lord of the Rings movies. Like it's been like a 10-year career.
Classic films. But when Sean Astin was coming out, I knew that I was nervous. There was a fuckload of people at Comic-Con like waiting to like see me interview him, and it was like I can't remember. I think it was like the second Hobbit movie just come out, so he was talking about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But anyway, I knew there was a bunch of people, and I'm sitting on like the stage, and I see all these people like in the sea, the sea of Comic-Con at the stage waiting, and I'm starting to feel the nerves. So I think to myself, what can I do to kind of make myself laugh and forget about this? So when he came out and I introduced him not as Sean Astin of Lord of the Rings, but Sean Astin of this like shitty B movie 80s like ski patrol movie he did. Like it was like Mountain Patrol or something, like awful movie where he was a ski patrol guy fighting off terrorists, and it was this shitty movie. So I introduced him as the star of that movie, and he was so confused. People were confused. But for me, I was setting up this joke, and he understood what I was doing. So he started playing along, and then we got to the point where I was like, what else have you done? And he was like, I was in this like trilogy called Lord of the Rings. And he totally understood that I was trying to make this joke. The audience laughed. It paid off in the first 2 minutes of the intro. And then I realized that all these people there are just to have a good time.
Yeah.
They're just laughing. I can see that the person I'm interviewing is down to have a little bit of fun with me.
He's a homie.
He's a homie. He's not taking it too seriously, which really helped. And that was my first really big interview. And then we brought out video games. We started like playing these one-on-one games. So as I was interviewing him, we were playing this one-on-one game.
Damn.
So he would get into the game, and then the production guy was like, "Hey, we have to end the interview." And he was like, "Fuck that. Let's end the interview. Let's keep going. Let's keep playing. Let's keep talking." So we ended up doing this extended interview, and that first big interview sort of gave me like the extra confidence.
Yeah, it's like I did it. I've been there.
Yeah,
I
to
know
go in, make
again.
a joke, establish like a comedic rapport with the audience.
You have to bring up the story of how you did that one intro with the guy it was the most amazing joke. You were talking with him prior. It was like, how does it feel if everyone in this audience?
Oh, yeah. So Sir Loras Tyrell, Finn Jones, he was Iron Fist, and he was Sir Loras Tyrell in Game of Thrones. The Knight to Fly With.
Game of Thrones, Sir Loras Tyrell. Hell yeah.
He comes out on stage, and I know that I have to break the ice, and because it's a Twitch live stream, and it's a Comic-Con audience, Chicago Comic-Con, I always want to make it funny.
Yeah.
And establish that chill rapport right away. So he sits down on the couch, and I know there's kids in the audience, but I don't give a shit. Whatever. He sits down, and I'm like, so here we are with Finn Jones.
Finn Jones.
Yeah. What is it like being the one man in Westeros that every man and woman wants to fuck? And he starts cracking up, and we start talking about like homosexuality in Game of Thrones and how it's great, and how much he loves playing his character. And we just set a tone that people are like, what the hell? Like, that's how you're going to start the interview? And then we could just do whatever the hell we wanted. Then we could literally talk about anything, and everything was out on the table that this was going to be a no-holds-barred kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And it was a great interview, and he liked it so much, he came back the next year to do another one.
Sick.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
it was awesome. Yeah.
Moral of the story there is get it out on the table. Everyone's human. Everyone wants to have a good time. If you're doing a video, if you're putting out content, like I did a video 3 days ago on building your digital tribe. Like everyone has a digital tribe out there waiting for them.
Yep.
If you like to sword fight, start freaking sword fighting and cutting up watermelons and stuff in your backyard. I guarantee people will watch it.
Yep.
They'll be like, what the hell is this? Yep. And then all of a sudden you connect with people all over the world, because now we live in this world where we can literally build a business from our phone, from anywhere. We can promote, we can change the world, we can help, we can do cool stuff. And I just think that's like a really positive model in general. So what would you say to someone that's like in their own business, that has their own idea? Maybe they're working a full-time job. There's a lot of people that are in direct sales and entrepreneurs that follow my stuff. What would you say if someone has a passion but they're not kind of taking action on that passion? How would you say, like, what would be your main kind of tips to kind of get outside your comfort zone, chase it, make it rain? I don't make it rain. Just make moves in some sort of solid fashion.
Well, if it's truly a passion and they really love it, they will find a way, first of all.
True.
If they really love it. If you're trying, it's harder if it's not a true passion and you're just trying to chase money or status or something like that. then you're just going to kill yourself doing something you don't like. But if you really love it and you have a full-time job, something like that, first of all, take care of your bills. Pay your fucking rent. Make sure you have food in the fridge. Don't kill yourself to do your passion that might fail. So make sure that everything's good at home, and sleep less if you have to, and work on this after work. Don't quit everything and take a chance and, you know, turn out to be homeless if your venture fails because you've sold everything and you've quit your job to go full in on something. Just make more time in your day.
Yeah, guys, drop it too if you agree with that whole statement. Because I wish I knew that when I first got involved in my first direct sales business. Because you don't know, you know. You
don't know.
And it's good to make mistakes when you're young, because that's the only way sometimes you learn is when you run into a wall 5 times before you realize that's a wall. You can't run into it.
It's true. Make sure that you are set up so that you can successfully just work on it. If you burn out and you only get 50% of the way of getting to whatever it is you want to build, and you ran out of savings or whatever, well then you're fucked anyway.
Yeah, Jonathan knows what's up.
Yeah, you have to take care of yourself. Like for me, I like to work on outside of Twitch and Amazon projects that I'm working on that I've talked to you about. All that is at night. That's after I've done my full-time job. It's after I've hung out or smoked a joint or had a beer or played a video game. It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm feeling creative. I'm feeling passionate about something. And for the past couple of years, I've been working on a TV show. And it's
you've never made a TV show before?
It's just no. I've never made a TV show, but for the last year and a half, I've been chipping away at this huge story that I've created.
That's awesome.
And I'm pitching it to agencies in LA and studios, and it's just something that I've done on my own. After work, after I paid my rent, after I've taken care of myself.
Yeah, so you're not...
But I'll go to bed at 2 a.m. if I have to, and I'll sleep less, and it'll be harder. But that's the price I'm paying.
That's the price.
And I'm not quitting anything. I'm still doing, something interesting. I'm, managing influencers and sales campaigns for Twitch. So I'm still doing something interesting and cool that I can learn from. But I'm also applying myself.
Yeah, so it's like at the same, everyone has the same hours a day. It seems like there's never enough time, but it's really just a priority thing at the end of the day. If you don't love what you're doing and it's not exciting enough to you and your passion's not exciting enough to you to just want to do it, if it feels like a job, you're not going to do it.
Totally.
That's why I love what I do with our startup and what we're doing with facial recognition and stuff, because I go into work and I'm just pumped because I have no idea where we can, I have an idea, but I have no idea who's going to walk in through this door and where clients we can help and where this could help shape the future. So it's like anything you do, whether it's, direct sales, whether it's gaming, you just have to love it and have a passion for it. And it's cool now, and I love the whole gaming and Twitch thing because I'm kind of new to understanding what Twitch is. It's cool because in the past, if you just played a bunch of video games, there was really no way to monetize it, and there was really no way to kind of build a following and be able to kind of do your thing. But now you can literally create a world out of it, and it's just like anything. So it's powerful, super powerful stuff.
We've got Twitch broadcasters that make several $1 million a year just playing video games.
Several mil playing video games, people. Hell yeah, that's awesome. So, Jordan,
6 figures a month.
That's 6 figures a month playing video games. Drop some money signs if you know what I'm talking about. That's insanity.
Yeah.
Good for them. Good for them. Yeah. Good for freaking them.
You found an out that no one finds. If you can sit in your ass and have fun playing games, let me just be honest though, after a while it does it wears on you. Always being on. The way I looked at it was every time I did a broadcast, I was pretending like I was on a first date with the internet every time. I gotta be on, I gotta be funny, I gotta be witty, I gotta have something interesting to talk about. A first date every fucking day gets really tiring. It's really hard in your brain to do that, and these people do it every day. But it's really nice to go on a first date and make 10 grand, so
damn.
So there's that.
Yeah, and typically you're out, a few $100s.
Exactly.
So that's phenomenal. So guys, thank you so much for jumping in. This is Jordan. He's a phenomenal human. San Francisco living. He's got some big projects. We're working on some stuff together, and just everything you're doing, it's awesome. You never know who you're going to meet that's going to change your whole situation, your life. So guys, if you know anyone that's in the gaming world or anyone that really just wants to see, Jordan's real, he's raw. As you can hear, the language he does speaks to the humans, because that's what he's doing. He's speaking to people. He's not speaking to some he knows you do you. You do you. You just do you. And you got to be the best you possible. Is there anything else you want to share with the homies before we jump out?
You know, I've blabbered enough. Thanks for watching. It's cool to stream on a different service besides Twitch. I don't think I've ever. Well, I've done like a Vine or a Periscope broadcast before, but that's it. So this is cool. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
The homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Periscope got just destroyed by Facebook Live.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
At Twitch, we watch all that shit. So it was interesting
you know it all.
to see the birth and the death.
The birth and the death.
It's not dead, but kind of, yeah, basically.
For real. All right, guys. You guys are the best. If you guys enjoyed this, tag a friend, share it. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Len Jones. We got Jordan. Soma, a.k.a. Check him out on live on Twitch. Holla at you guys later. Peace.
See you guys.